Hey everyone, it's CruiseCom Captain, and I am bringing back another Q&A video. This is my second Q&A video that I've done. People have been commenting on my videos with a lot of really great questions, and I've responded to them in the comments, but I can't really get into the detail that I could. Also, a lot of my viewers watch on TV, don't even look at the comments, so I want to share these with everybody, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So, slide here so I can pop these comments up. Okay, so Jason Pass says, I have questions. Do you play online while on the cruise ship, as in online poker, or are you playing in the actual ship casino? What are the blind levels? Do you get casino loyalty points for playing poker? Your channel is a hidden gem, not for long, with great content. Thank you for the kind words, Jason. So, first question, do you play poker online, or are you playing in the actual ship casino? I actually do both. It depends on the sailing. If the games are really good, I'll play a lot more on the games in the cruise ship casino, but it depends on the sailing and the other guests for how many games are running, how often they run, and things like that. But I always have the option to play online as well while I'm sailing. It's the beauty of Starlink in today's present age. And what are the blind levels? They're $2, $5, small blind $2, big blind $5, and the minimum buy-in is $100, which is lower than it should be, honestly, and the rake is higher than it should be at $15, so it's a whole other story, but $2.5. And do you get loyalty points for playing poker? No, you do not, which is one of the reasons why I do the machine play that I do, and talk about that for other people as well, is to keep minimum cost from the machine play to get the offers I need and then make the money playing poker, whether live or online. Thank you for your questions, Jason, and let's move on to the next one. Bernice Hughes says, when you book a free cruise and pay the taxes and fees, is the gratuities included? If not, how does the gratuities work? So the gratuities are not included when you pay the resort taxes and fees, and they're also not required to be paid at the time of booking. Actually, they're gratuities, so they're not required to be paid ever, but that's a different topic, and it's not one that it's hotly contested. So, but you're asking for the facts here, and when you book a sailing on a complimentary offer, all you have to book are the port taxes and fees to guarantee the sailing. They will at the time offer, do you want to prepay gratuities, and do you want to do the Royal Caribbean travel protection? You can, if you choose to do so, you can add the gratuities then, and you can add the travel protection then. You can add one, you can add neither, but the only thing you're required to do is to pay the port taxes and fees to secure your booking. So thanks for the question, Bernice. Hope that was helpful. Next question is from Jim A. And I am on a cruise that starts March 30th. Will my casino points reset during that cruise? Will my play after April 1st count for the next year, or is it based on the ship's first day at sea, which would be March 30th? So this is a great question, and it's referring to the idea that this is what's called a straddle sailing, is what I was told by a casino host, because I had a similar situation happen to me a couple years ago. So the casino loyalty status tier period is April 1st to March 31st, right? So what Jim's asking is, if I start a cruise during the previous year's period, only the first 2 days are technically in that period, and then the rest of my sailing is in the following year's earning period. So what happens in that case? As of what I've been told recently, they are treated in that the points you earn in the period you earn them count. So if your cruise left on March 30th, there's 31 days in March, so the first 2 days would be March 30th, March 31st. The points you earn on those 2 days count towards the previous cycle. So they will count towards your prime or your signature or your master status. Then on day 3 of your cruise, on April 1st, for the remaining several days, those points will count towards the next earning period. However, your whole cruise points as a whole will count towards that particular cruise's certificate. So they're divided for the year-long status, but they're not divided for that cruise's onboard certificate. So if you earn 500 points the first 2 days and 1,000 points on the rest of the cruise, you can still earn a 1,500 point offer, even though the 500 points count for the first earning period, and the 1,000 will count towards the next earning period for the following period. Thanks for your question, Jim A. Moving on. Cards and comps. So far, I haven't received any offers for cruises in South America from Celebrity, just the Caribbean and a handful of Mediterranean cruises. Do you find that the amount of points that you earned on this cruise, which was less than 800, I believe, for 14 days, is enough to keep the casino happy and the offers rolling in? Thank you for your question. And this is a tricky one, and it's arbitrary, right? My understanding is that the casinos will take a rolling average, but we're in the territory here that I do not know their back-end process, either on Royal or Celebrity. I have done some cruises where I barely played at all, like less than 100 points. Even that cruise was low for us normally, but it was a special cruise, and we didn't, there wasn't a lot of action going on in the casino. We weren't planning to play very much. So we only earned, yes, less than 800 over 14 days. And you can see that in my most recent vlog. It's a few videos ago. But I think it's based on a rolling average. So if I have a lot of plays for the cruises leading up to that, and then I have 1 or 2 cruises where I don't play as much, it doesn't necessarily turn the offers off, at least not in my experience. I have a pretty steady array of offers coming in, which is why I have no problem downshifting my play. And then at the times where it does seem to downshift, if I just ramp my play back up, it seems to flow back in. So that's my personal experience, but I can't speak to what the official policy is because it's all hidden, it's all back end. So thanks for your question, Cards and Comps. And you submitted another one as well, which I thought I would answer. So you mentioned something about combining offers. Is there a particular video that goes over that? Thanks. Great question. And I think what he's referring to here are combining offers from 2 different people in a stateroom. So there's different ways you can combine offers. So one is that if you and the person that you plan to travel with both have an offer for the same sailing, you can combine them for a higher room category. So with Abroad That Travels, who I travel with all the time, and we've been doing that for a while. If she gets an offer, let's say she gets an interior offer and I get a balcony offer for the same sailing, we can combine them and we can get a junior suite for that sailing instead. You can do that with the onboard certificates. So if you earn a certain number of points to earn a balcony offer and they earn an interior, you combine them for a junior suite. So that's one way to combine offers. The other way to combine offers is to, when they have the offers that are cruise fare for 1 guest instead of the full complimentary cruise fare for 2 guests. And if she earned a cruise fare for 1 guest on a particular sailing and I earned a cruise fare for 1 guest on a particular sailing, we could combine them for a full complimentary cruise. If one of us just earns a cruise fare for 1 guest, even if we wanted to go solo, we could not, it would not be fully complimentary. They still would prorate you for what the second guest would be. But so that's another way to combine them is cruise fare for 1, cruise fare for 1, same sailing, combine them, it's complimentary for 2 people. So thank you very much for your question on that. I hope that helps. Okay, Billy, we have, what are some examples of low variance slots? So I do an entire video on this and I will leave it linked in the description below. It's one of my more popular videos and I definitely recommend giving it a watch if you want to know anything about picking a specific machine, slots, video poker, anything else like that. But the basic primer is that low volatility slots means that you will have fewer large hits and fewer large losses, kind of. So it's more steady, smaller wins and smaller losses and a lot of partial wins. So for example, old real slots where they have the cherries on there. I mean, anytime a cherry shows up at all, you get partial of your bet back. And what that does is that it helps sustain the coin through going while not just having full bet, get nothing back, bet, get nothing back, bet, get nothing back, with lots of volatility and time between those spins. So if you're dropping more slowly as opposed to whiff, 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 and then big spike, et cetera, et cetera. So examples of that, generally you want to avoid games with a ton of different features you can hit. You want to avoid games with very, very large, big, massive progressives up top because it's very hard to hit a grand jackpot for $50,000 or whatever it is on Dragon Links or one of the dancing drums or something like that. It's very hard to hit those, it's very rare, and the game has to account for the long shot odds in the payback percentage to leave those up there. And so your line hits that you're experiencing most of the game are going to be much lower than a game that does not have those up top. So some examples of some low variance slots, something like the original Planet Moolah, where there's just one bonus, there's no progressives, and there's a high frequency of line hits. Yeah, any of like the old real slots in general, especially if they don't have multiple features, if they just have one bonus feature. A lot of the old real slots don't even have any bonus features, right? You're just trying to line up diamonds or sevens or something like that. The fewer the features a game has, generally the more payback is weighted into just your regular hits that you're doing every time, and so that tends to reduce the volatility. But please go check out that. I go into way more detail, and so if you have questions, check that video out. I will leave it linked in the description as I mentioned. So thank you for your question. Next question, Sia Hornbet. I've been on 3 complimentary cruises and have another one booked for February. Obviously, me and my wife are at Prime status and had no idea about the free drinks at the casino. How does this perk work? We have been buying the drink package, but if it could figure out how to use this perk, I will use that drink package money for a bigger bankroll to use. So that makes sense, Sia Hornbet. Thank you for your question. Yeah, so the way the Prime drinks work in the casino are that you are able to drink for free while the casino is open and the bar is open, which is usually anytime the casino open and we're not in port, because sometimes the slots and the tables will be open, but the bar won't be because we'll still be in port due to local regulations and things like that. But if the casino is open and the casino bar is open, there are 2 ways to use your free drinks. One, you can go up to the bar, order your drink from the bartender, show them your card. Nowadays, they actually track and swipe it, but you should not be charged for it because they're gonna look for it should say Prime on your card, right? And if it doesn't, and if you earn Prime on board that time, you can go to the host and say, hey, do I have enough points to have earned Prime yet? If you have the required 2,500 points over that year period, they will put a sticker on your card that says Prime temporarily until your next cruise, and then they won't charge there. Alternatively, if you're sitting at a machine, there are gonna be cocktail servers that come around, bar service will come to the machines, and same type of thing. You order a drink, you show them your card, they take your card, they bring your drink back, and because it says Prime on there, you will not be charged. So I hope that answers your question, and yes, that would obviously, if you're comfortable with that level of service, then you don't have to buy the drink package if that's something that's helpful to you and saves a lot of money, whether you want to put it towards bankroll or just put it back in your pocket. Enjoy yourself, whatever you want to do with your money. Okay, next question, Jason Blaine, 23. How many cruises is 700 days at sea? It depends. If you're talking about specifically for me, because now I have over, if you're talking specifically for me and Emma combined, it's probably, around 100 cruises. There are some, since we've taken shorter, it would be more than that, because a seven night cruise on average would be 100 cruises, right? But we've taken some that are shorter, and then there's some that have gotten more points for being solo or being in suites and things like that. But around 100 cruises if you're averaging 7 nights cruise. But thank you very much for your question. Nancy, congratulations, we just reached Pinnacle status ourselves. Thank you, Nancy. How long did it take for the box to come from the night you earned the 700 point? Thanks. So she's referring to, we just recently reached, reached Pinnacle status on Royal Caribbean, and we earned it in November. And the box came about 5 weeks from when we filled out the form on the sailing that we earned it. So on the sailing that you earn Pinnacle, they will obviously do the ceremony where you get the captain and the stratum, or at least the stratum for show and the certificate and that whole presentation. But then they also have a form for you to fill out for you to receive the box at home, including your free cruise and stuff like that. But if you want to see the video where we open that box and show what's inside and everything else that took 5 weeks to arrive, it's a couple videos ago, but I'll link it again. Check that video out, but about 5 weeks. Thank you for your question. Silver Honda, I'm assuming to earn 700 sea nights, you had to spend over $100,000, ? So this is again referring to, now that we're Pinnacle status, people are like, oh, it's very, very expensive, right? Traditionally, I would expect yes, but the whole point of my channel, both Path to Pinnacle Club and now Cruise Comp Captain, is that I have figured out ways and try to optimize ways for that. It does not cost that. And because I play poker and earn more money than I spend on earning these cruises, it has cost me negative dollars, personally. But again, if you're for an average person or something else like that, can't possibly say. Depends on how they choose to go about booking their cruises, the type of cabins they want to stay in, and how they choose to optimize. But I will say from personal experience, it does not need to cost anywhere near $100,000. But there's other people who do it, and I'm sure they spend way more than that. So many ways to do it, to each their own. Thank you for your question. KJ, congratulations on your milestone. Me and my wife are Diamond, have a long way to go to Pinnacle. How many years did it take you to achieve it? So number of cruises is different from years. It actually took just about under 3 years to earn. Our first cruise was in 2019, but then didn't take our second cruise until 2023. And so if you want to cut out that outlier, fewer than 3 years. So a lot of cruising and a lot of points, but thank you for your question. Roderick, nice video. Does playing multi-line change the odds? It seems more efficient to get coin in through each line as an independent event as opposed to just increasing the bet size. So this is another casino specific question. I'm gonna have to make a couple assumptions here that they're talking about video poker and they're talking about multi-hand video poker. So in video poker, you can either bet one line where you just draw a hand, or you can play up to 10 line on these ships where you draw a hand and then you keep the cards you wanna keep, and you keep that card for 10 different hands and you get 10 different draws. So relative to the size of the bet, so if you're gonna bet $10 multi-line or $10 single line, it does not change the odds, but it reduces the variance. And again, I do videos on all kinds of, if these terms are intimidating, basically it does not change the percentage that the casino holds. So the odds are the same, but it should smooth out the ups and downs of your money in the machine, which for wanting to play longer is something that I recommend, lower variance. So it does not change the odds though, just makes it a smoother, lower variance ride. So if there's a way to do that and you enjoy that, there you go. Forever BPI, question, I just made it to Prime this past December, so when am I supposed to receive my 7-day cruise? Thanks, great question. Prime status, like I mentioned earlier in this video, the period for earning is April 1st of one year to March 31st of that following year. So that's a 12-month cycle. So even if you earn it earlier and can use those benefits, you don't actually get the free cruise unlocked to use until the April after you earned that period. So basically when a new period resets on April 1st, you don't have your cruise yet to book, but within 3 weeks or so, you should be receiving an email around that time from Club Royale, and they'll say, hey, you're Prime at this level. On this day, you can call and book your Prime cruise. Because the way they do is they open it up to Masters first, so they get first pick of cruises so that they don't fill up. Then they open it up to Signatures. Then they open it up to several different tiers of Prime, because Prime is a massive level where, you know, some people earn Prime and they only have 24,000 points and some people only have 2,500. So you'll get a date and a time when you're able to start booking, but you won't know that until much closer to that time. So that is gonna be the last question. I answered a lot of these, and if you have other questions, please post them in here. I can't promise as this channel gets bigger and everything else that I can answer all of them, but I'm doing my best right now. So if you guys have questions, post them up. I'll do my best to return them for you with knowing what I know. And I know they're all over the place, different topics, but I appreciate the people who sit and watch through these videos and learn everything you can. I'm trying to put this information out there just to be helpful, and I hope you find value in this channel. But with all that being said, thank you so much for those who have watched, followed along my journey, everything else, have watched this video, have said nice words, nice comments. I read all of them, I respond to all of them. And I really appreciate all of your support during this process. So if you like this video, if you like my content, please consider subscribing. If you have not already, please consider sharing this video. If you know anyone else who's going on cruises, interested in cruise hacking, cruise comps, stuff like that, I am your guy, and I appreciate all of your support and your help. So without further ado, I will be signing off, and thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.